Hey guys, what is up? Phoenix here, and I'm back again, jumping in today on Reserve. Now today we're going to be doing a bit of a voiceover because the voice didn't record during the gameplay, so it'll do it now. But anyway, this was the first match that I'd had on Reserve, and I'm going to be kind of giving my opinions on the map and my opinions on the update in general. So we're going to start with the map, and then we'll move over to just my overall kind of a little more in-depth impressions as opposed to the initial impressions I did the other day when I first jumped in, basically the day after it came out. We're going to start off with the map, and overall, from the couple of games that I've played, it's actually all right. It's a pretty reasonable map, and as you can tell by the footage perfectly lining up right now, there is a reasonable amount of military gear, kind of strewn across the map. There's a fair few military cases, and I'll overlay a 2D map that you can get from the wiki, and I'll also include a link to that in the description below. But if you check that out, you can see just how many higher tier and military type spawns there are for gear, which is it's nice. It's good to have kind of a not quite a labs where there is higher gear, but you've also got substantial risk. But there's a reasonable amount of gear, and there's also a reasonable amount of scavs I've encountered. Just in this footage here, I think within the first 5 minutes I come across 3, which is good. It's nice to not have too many, but to have that nice balance, and I think they've done that. It's a very good looking map. They have actually put a lot of effort into it, and as much shit as I do fling at Battle State, they've done a good job. Just from what I've played on this map, they have definitely done a good job. There's, like I said, a reasonable amount of scav spawns, high amount of military grade gear, and what is kind of cool and very kind of specific to this map in particular is the extractions. There's quite a few extractions, but a lot of them are kind of reliant on you meeting certain parameters and prerequisites. For example, in this round, which I didn't get anywhere near, I was actually going for a sewer extract, which requires that you don't have a backpack. You can't extract if you've got a backpack. And, being the first round that I had, I didn't really bring anything in aside from this hunting rifle, so it was good. It was good when I looked at it and went, well, this is awesome. I can get out of here, relatively quickly without too much of a struggle. So that's something that's really cool, and I hope there's more of that in Tarkov, because it is really, really cool to have kind of more extracts, but some that require you to meet certain parameters. So, like I said, there is the sewer extract, which requires you not have a backpack, and there are a total of 8, by the way, so I'll kind of list them off while I'm here. There is a bunker hermetic door. The map is up, so you can refer to that. The bunker hermetic door, which doesn't have any prerequisites. There's a cliff descent, which requires you to have a pickaxe and paracord, so that's cool, having another extract that requires you to bring stuff in, kind of like the vehicle extracts, but a little more in depth and a little more, I guess, lore friendly, although the vehicle extract does make sense. But nevertheless, it is a cool addition and something that I think is pretty cool. You have scav lands, which require you to bring an additional player with you, either a scav if you're a PMC or a PMC if you're a scav. That's an interesting one. I do want to see if I can get that to work at some point, because it'll be very interesting to see how that actually plays out. If it works out the way I'm thinking it does, that'll be a really good way to kind of encourage people to work together. And because you can't jump in a raid as a PMC with a friend who's a scav, or vice versa, that should be an interesting way to encourage people to, scavs especially, to not just shoot everyone they see. But I have a feeling that extracts are probably going to go unused a lot of the time. There's also the sewer manhole. Like I said, you can't use a backpack. There's an armored train, which sounds phenomenal. I absolutely want to test that one out at some point, but that's just a timed one. That's something that we've seen before, extracts that you have to be at a certain point in the raid, so that's nothing too bad. And then the rest are just scattered extracts. You've got a hole in the fence, you've got another fence, and you've got a heating pipe. But you do have those first 3, your cliff descent, your scav lands, and your sewer manhole, that require specific parameters that we haven't seen before, and it'll be really interesting to see how they play out, particularly scav lands. The other thing that I've noticed, it was kind of included in the trailers leading up to the patch and leading up to the deployment of the map and everything, was, again, referring to the 2D map, there are several gun emplacements. I've yet to use one, but I want to, because holy shit, they look phenomenal. I've seen a few other videos of people encountering them and encountering people, kind of set up on them as a squad, and yeah, they're brutal as shit. So, they had a whole new dynamic, kind of defensible areas. I don't know why you'd use them, but nevertheless, I mean, they're there. Some of them don't really have too much of a great sightline over areas, but others do. There's one on the eastern side of the map that's kind of just there. You're not really going to get too much use out of it. But on the flip side, on the western one, there's one that's kind of facing an area of map that you will get people coming across as a major thoroughfare. So hopefully they don't work out too overpowered. It's not necessarily on your own. If you're on your own, I can see them being really not that useful. But if you get a squad, I have a feeling they might be a little bit powerful. But again, that's something that as I play more, I'll make my opinions rather known. But nevertheless, pretty cool. So that kind of does my initial impressions of just the map itself. Overall, I'm liking it. It's good. I haven't had any problems with it. It runs really, really well, about as well as any of the other maps. This entire update, performance seems to be a hell of a lot better than it has been in the past, and that's something that I'm actually really thankful for. So, congrats to Battle State for getting the performance kind of sorted. I know a lot of other people may not have those same experiences, and if you do, chuck it in the comments below, if you are having troubles, because I am curious to see what performance is for other people. From people I've spoken to, it seems to be pretty good, so it's got that going for it, with the exception of the server issues, and that's kind of what I want to touch on. Overall, in terms of patch gameplay, I've got a few kind of nitpicky things, and a few not so nitpicky things. The medical system is interesting. Not a fan by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think it works. It's very mobile game-esque for a game that I paid $170 for. It's a bit much to have to kind of have that time to wait. And what people say, and I 100% agree with, is if you don't have to wait for your PMC to heal. What I'm talking about, of course, is if you leave a raid injured or you die during a raid, you have to kind of rest and recuperate, and that can be done through either waiting or you can just heal yourself outside of the raid. Now, waiting, stupid. I don't know why you do it. You can increase, or you can decrease rather, the time that you have to wait through the hideout, but you still have to wait, or you just use meds in your inventory, which kind of defeats the fucking purpose. It's a feature they've implemented that forces you to wait unless you just use meds, which is easy. You just use meds, but then it doesn't really do anything. And kind of, I think the intention behind it was that you have to use your meds or you have to wait. So it's a way to kind of keep people, to not result in a fucked economy where people have ludicrous amounts of money 2 weeks into the wipe. But, and I think I said this during my first impressions, it's going to result in people having ludicrous amounts of money minus 1 million rubles 2 weeks into the wipe. Like, it's not... Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. It's kind of just an inconvenience more than anything else. And it's a feature that I think, if it's going to stay in the game, and I reckon it will, because it seems like something they've put a lot of effort into, then it really needs to be reworked quite substantially. How that is, I don't know. I'm just going to bitch and not really suggest anything, because there's nothing... I just don't think it has a place, and I think it'd be better off removed. But that's my opinion, and the opinion of a fair few other people. That is kind of my major issue with the patch. I haven't really had any other problems, aside from the servers, which have been... they've been better. And this always happens with the patches when they come out, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. It's pretty consistent. Every single time there's a patch, the servers kind of shit themselves. And it's just impossible to get onto matches outside of Factory, and that's pretty consistent every time there's been a patch. I think because you get so many people playing Factory, that's why you don't have issues. But that is region specific, god damn it. That's region specific. So a lot of other people haven't had any problems and have been able to get into customs from day one. particularly those in the US. Being from Australia here, we've only got one Oceanic server, you know, and I guess the player count just wasn't that high. So, you know, it was a real struggle getting onto matches on my server, on the Australian server. But, you know, even then, they do have the ability to kind of select your server, which is nice. It's a nice addition and a nice change. I don't know when that was implemented. Definitely after the last time I played, but I don't think it was this patch. Overall, though, my impressions of the map, thumbs up. Pretty good so far. Enjoying it. I like the new elements that have been introduced with the different extracts and the kind of the prerequisites for those extracts. And into the patch, again, generally pretty good. Few nitpicky things, few things I don't like. But overall, 2 thumbs up. Absolutely love it. I'll end off here because I'm about to get my ass handed to me. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, please have points, chuck them in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.